When I was a kid, my parents would never let me watch cowboy and Indian movies because I always cried when the Indians got killed. And the Indians always got killed. That's why we can have a conference here. So, kind of grew up with a partiality towards them. And, I'm living on a Navajo reservation. Well, it's about the size of West Virginia, yeah. New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. I live up in the Four Corners area.
Well, for the last, since last fall, I've been building a house.
Really?
Yes.
By hand, yourself?
Yes.
Why do you laugh?
Well, because I'm so nervous that I'm going to go home and it won't be there anymore. Because we had planned on, getting someone else to do stuff that we knew nothing about. And, but it's hard to get people to work for you when you're not around to check on their work. So, we dug out the, we're building two, I live on a Navajo reservation, and so we wanted to build these traditional Navajo 8-sided houses called hogans. They're log houses, and they have 8 sides. They're really, really beautiful to look at. And so we decided, we can do this, We'll get someone to pour the foundation. So we dug, and being a musician, I'm not terribly, and there are a lot of musicians who are wonderfully mathematical. I'm terrible at math. And so, man, we dug. It looked like the Grand Canyon by the time we had dug out the, the trench where we're going to put the footer. And, got the footer poured, and then we're like, okay, we're going to leave for a month. And so we hired someone to come in and put the foundation down. They never did it. We got back. It wasn't done, so we hired someone else. They didn't do it. So then we got back and we just did it ourselves. And then since then we keep going, we'll get someone else to do this. We'll get someone else. No one does. So we've done it all. And it's... The cool thing about it is, first of all, a hogan is just such a perfectly nice place. Even if you do it badly, it's cool. And
sounds like a place I need to build.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, and I gotta find out why it has to have 8 sides. Well, they don't have to have 8, because some hogans out there only have 7 sides. Some have 6. But I mean, the perfect hogan has 8. And her question is, how has God used me on the Navajo reservation? Well, I'm not a big believer in God using people that much. I think that what God has done in my life since I've been on the Navajo reservation is He's made me more aware of how quirky Middle Americans are and all people are, and of how when I was in Thailand, I met this missionary, and I was talking about, I said, I just really want the Lord to use me, and she said, well, forget it. God doesn't need you for anything. God doesn't want to use you. He wants you to love Him. And so that's really what I'm trying to do there. I think more than anything else is learn how to love Him. And I think I would do that if I was still in Kansas, and that's sort of a lifelong process. One of the cool things, as my dad got older, was watching how God continued to work in his life and continued to bring him into a deeper walk with the Lord. So, yeah, I'm not a lot of people want to make a big deal about going to the reservation. I think it's sort of missing a lot, because it was sort of for my own salvation that I went, not to save anybody else.
So welcome to the 20th anniversary Window Rock tribute events for Rich Mullins. My name is Chris Marchand. The reason I'm here, I'm friends with Joe Cook, and we host a podcast together. And we wanted to do a quick question and answer with some very important people. And Joe, why don't you take it from here?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our live taping. And this is of course, as he said, a really special night. And I'm so thankful that all of you turned out here to be with us. We've got some really special guests with us on stage, but kind of below the stage right now. To my right is Chuck Harper. Chuck is the director of Western Indian Ministries and founder of Christ for Native Youth. And, of course, Rich Mullins was an important part of Christ for Native Youth, and I'm sure Chuck will tell us a little bit about that. To Chuck's right is singer-songwriter Andrew Osenga, and Andrew, yeah, absolutely. Andrew is just a super talented guy, and Rich was a big influence on him, and he is actually involved in some Rich Mullins projects that are in the pipeline. Mitch McVicker was sitting next to him a moment ago, and maybe Mitch will come back. But over there is Rich's brother, David Mullins. And, yeah, we are so thrilled to have David with us tonight. And next to David is a surprise guest that we had no idea was coming. That is Rich's longtime dear friend and founding member of his early band, Zion, Elizabeth Lutz. He said, don't give her the mic. And here's Mitch McVicker.
He just climbed the window rock. He's a little out of breath.
Well, we since we're running a little late, we're going to kind of do this a little bit abbreviated, but we wanted to start off by asking a question over here to my friend Chuck Harper, because as we know, Window Rock and the Navajo Nation held a really special place in Rich Mullins' heart. And Chuck, I know that you were kind of there in the beginning of that with him, and I just kind of want to know, how did you connect with Rich? Tell us a little bit of the story of how he ended up coming out here.
Oh, test. Well, first of all, thanks for the cap, and I love it. Well, I think the year was 1992. I was doing your job at KHAC as the manager.
I'm sorry.
And I'd always wanted to bring concerts to Window Rock, and so we invited this band here who, anyway, they came, did their thing, they left. We said, we are never having another concert here. We lost our shirt. The people were rude. They didn't like the hotels in Window Rock. They said the only reason it's okay is because we're just taking a shower and then we're leaving. And anyway, I just had this awful taste in my mouth about concerts. A month later, I get a call from Gay Quisenberry, and she says, there's this guy named Rich Mullins who wants to come and do a concert there. I said, sorry, I probably hung up on her. And she called me right back and said, you know, this guy Rich, let me tell you about him. He wants to come to Window Rock, no cost. He wants to sleep on a church floor. You can have all the money that, if you sell tickets, take an offering, whatever, it's fine. Whatever you want to do, he just wants to come there. And so I said, well, let me think about it. What's some of his songs? So I went to our music library, the old LP, you know, the 45s. I found Awesome God, Screen Door, a couple of songs we played all the time. And so I took them home and I told Cindy, what do you think? This guy wants to come. There's got to be a big catch here. No cost. He's willing to sleep on the floor. And so we prayed about it, said, okay, we'll do it. And we'll take a chance on this one. So anyway, Rich ended up coming back in 1992. We had a concert here in Window Rock and over in Tuba City. And he had actually ended up getting snowed in here for about a week. He wanted to stay for a while. That was the catch, that he could stick around for a while and just get to know the people. So we got to know him while he was here, and that was the beginning of a long friendship that has just changed all of us.